I'm going to be so irritated if this becomes true. This is something we've all known. Garrett Wilson's long-term future with the New York Jets and the critical issue facing their young stars.
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, before we hop in today's video, I got to thank the sponsor of the channel, JR TAX. The NFL regular season is ending, and that means that the head coaching carousel is about to begin. Smart teams will act fast and hire an experienced and innovative coach. Teams that hesitate could get left with a subpar option, as Jet fans know. It's also the start of tax season, and that means it's time to search for the CPA that knows the playbook to take you to the top of the tax savings standings. Don't get stuck with subpar talent called JR the Tax Czar and get all the all-pro tax advice you and your business deserve. Thank you, JR, so much for sponsoring the channel, and he's also a great Jet fan, so if you want to sponsor or help out one of our own, make sure you help out the sponsor of the channel, JR TAX, link in the description down below. Now, let's hop into today's video, and this is going in kind of a scary direction for the New York Jets, or at least one that is like in the back of most fans' minds. This is the doomsday situation with the 2022 Jets draft class, Garrett Wilson's long-term viability with the New York Jets, and the critical issue with the other players that we kind of have on roster right now. This is coming from Rich Cimini, who wrote an article over on ESPN. So I'll pull up that article. Let's take a look at it. We'll go through it, see what some of the comments were from Garrett Wilson, the contacts that they had, and go through it little by little. So here is the article. Garrett Wilson has 2,000-yard seasons on losing teams. Why they chose this picture to be right there, I have no idea. But this is from Rich Cimini. Garrett Wilson is one of 15 players with 1,000 yards in each of the last 2 seasons, but he's the only one to do it on a team in 2 consecutive losing seasons. Now, this could wind up being more than that because Chris Olave and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin might all hit that 1,000-yard threshold on losing teams if they lose this week coming up. So that could change a little bit. But either way, it's not great. So he goes on to say, this is from Garrett Wilson now. I don't know what the future holds, Wilson told ESPN. I know I'm here for the 4 or 5 years, and I'm going to do my part and try to make this thing turn over as far as what it's been up to this point. We have to fix it. We have to play better. We have to win games. We have to do a lot of things better, and I'm a main proponent of that. I've got to do my part. So obviously the 4 or 5 years that he's talking about is the duration of a rookie contract. The rookie first-year contract is a 4-year guaranteed contract with a team option for a 5th year. Based on how Garrett Wilson is playing, he is going to see the entirety of that 5-year contract with the New York Jets. We're not moving him. Now, where things could possibly get weird is if Garrett Wilson does not want to be here because of how stagnant the offense has been, how terrible that we've kind of done, because this isn't just a contract thing. This is his brand. This is his body of work. This is his legacy. He may want to go play with a good quarterback and get good stats. It may not just be about the money. It may not be, purely about the stats. Maybe we do have to overpay him to have a worse legacy with us because we don't have the quarterback options. Like, this is like sort of the weird, quirky stuff that goes into us. But this is going to be a problem for a lot of players on the New York Jets. But let's go into this a little bit further. They asked CJ Mosley about this. So teammate CJ Mosley admitted he's concerned about Wilson losing patience to the point where he wants to play elsewhere. I mean, that's a real thing. So it's definitely not a no answer. Mosley, a team captain, told ESPN. Can it happen? Yes. But do I think it will? That depends on the people in this room, in this building. So this is clearly Mosley identifying, like, I understand struggling through bad teams. CJ Mosley has been on a bunch of bad teams in New York, and it depends largely on the coaches, the players in the locker room, the financial situation as put forward by the GM and the owner. There's a lot that goes into it. So if you can correct this ship, I think Garrett Wilson is going to want to stay here long term. Now, as far as, let's see, Garrett Wilson goes on to the very end here. Where is it? I don't know what the future holds, he reiterated. My number one focus is being the best version of me and finding a way to make this organization and make this team be proud of the person they drafted, and hopefully we can win some games. So I love Garrett Wilson. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. I am so proud of the player that we drafted. And full disclosure, I did not really want a receiver at number 10. I wanted the edge rusher in Jermaine Johnson. I could not be happier with the player that we drafted in Garrett Wilson. He has been a stand-up class act the entirety through these last 2 seasons. Like, you see a little bit of the frustration boiling over a bit on the sidelines, but that's not like in a bad way. Like, it feels more like of a competitive nature than as like a disgruntled, upset nature. Like, he's always trying to get in someone's face, trying to build them up and trying to help them out. We saw that with the behind the scenes stuff. I think it was him and Lazard or him and Conklin talking to Zach at one point. I love the player that we've drafted in Garrett. I feel like he always takes the high road, and I feel like he always puts the onus on himself when he knows damn well he's the best player or one of the best players on this offense, him and Breece. Like, for him to constantly put that baggage on himself is a leadership quality, but it's a major issue that's going to be looked at across the board with that draft class in particular, because you have Sauce, who's playing at his second all-pro season. You have Garrett Wilson, second 1,000-yard season on a losing team with bad quarterback play. You have Breece Hall, who's balling out. He's got 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns. Why he's not being considered for comeback player of the year is absolutely beyond me. And like, then you got Jermaine Johnson, who's coming on hot right now. So you've got 4 young studs that are on their rookie contracts. It's going to be very difficult to pay them all at the same time. We have to go through this year. With a rookie contract, you cannot negotiate until after year 3. So we are going to get this season with Aaron Rodgers and with good quarterback play to hopefully clear this whole situation up and not have to worry about Garrett Wilson moving forward and other players moving forward. Because, look, I'm sure they have talked to plenty of Jets players over the course of their first 2 seasons in the league that were like, how do you deal with the losing? How do you handle this? And they're just probably trying to get advice on this, but they see guys balling out in great offenses and having a great time, making a ton of money, doing ads. Like, you have to want to get there. If you're some of these young stars, you want to hit the peak of your professional career. And can you do that with the New York Jets if we're not going to put a serious product on the field? I mean, you could tell that this season, I don't think the talent's as bad as what we got from our players this year. I don't think we're that far off. I think a lot of it has to do with coaching. But if this doesn't get turned around quick, do you think Sauce wants to hang around? Do you think Jermaine Johnson's going to want to hang around? Do you think Breece Hall's going to want to hang around? You better believe Breece is absolutely going to be holding out after next year. With running backs, they kind of have to. You're going on, he's going to have a 4-year deal because he wasn't a first-round pick. But they get screwed so hard. And like, we're running Breece into the ground. He's already got one major injury. This is going to be a very scary problem for the New York Jets. And one of the bigger reasons why you need to hit on the young rookie quarterback either this year or next year with the Rodgers contract, because you have to try and retain as many of those key players as possible, particularly those top 4 at the top of last year's draft. So guys, I want to hear from you. What do you think the plan is long-term with Garrett? I hope he's a lifetime Jet. I would be so upset if we lost those 4 players in Breece, Garrett, Sauce, and Jermaine. I hope the Jets can find a way to have him, but at the very least, you have to find a way to maximize the opportunities while you have them. You've got 2 years, 3 at best, if you franchise tag Breece Hall and let everyone else roll into the 5th-year options of their contracts. You got to get this done. Do not allow young homegrown talent to leave this team when we have been striving and hoping and thirsty for that type of talent for so long. Boys and girls, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.
JETS!